Happy Thursday, everybody. This is the WIN, the Weekend Inspirational Notations Report for the weekend of Friday evening, June 7th to Sunday night, June 9th. Today I'm shuffling Hope's Heart Tarot and Odin's Runes so that we can get a good estimation of what will be the vibe of the tribe, what we can expect, what we can reject, what we don't suspect coming, and the fifth thing is the love boat, the romantic waters of the weekend. So let's get started with Hope's Heart Tarot. I'm shuffling and asking the tarot, what do we need to know about this weekend? What can you tell us? And the first card, the Two of Coins. Well, the Two of Coins is about balancing finances, making ends meet, really taking a true assessment of what you need and what you have. It could be something as simple as, what do I need to put in the garden of my dreams, or how can I go through my closet and prepare for a new season of clothing? Or it could simply be sitting down with your finances and budgeting. Yeah, that doesn't sound real glamorous for the weekend, but when we get these things straight and neat and tidy, and when things come into balance, our lives come into balance. And that card was straight up. You know, there's 360 degrees, and it was just straight up saying, let's look at some balanced budgets. Let's look at some balance in our lives. What do the runes have to say about it? Okay, Odin's runes, tell us about the vibe of the tribe. How's everyone feeling this weekend? How's everyone feeling? Okay, here it is. Yep, it's kind of the same thing. It's two items balancing together. So with the tarot as the balancing the budget, the runes are about partnerships. Partnerships. True love, of course, Iwaz became E. You can see that, I suppose, in our language today of the Norwegian runes and the English language. But Iwaz is about partnerships and being very careful so that we don't end up wounded or in any sort of betrayal. To me, this combination feels like the vibe of the tribe this weekend is for balance in money and in relationships. How nice is that? So now let's look at what's to be expected. What do we know is coming? What did we see coming? What do we know? What do we all kind of know? Well, Hope's Heart Tarot says, you saw it to me, that there is some sort of misuse of power or manipulation. Now, this comes from the Hierophant, which is about higher learning and living your higher life, starting to turn and having a misuse of power. That could be yourself, or could certainly be others if you look around the world today. And obviously a misuse of power isn't going to play well in sacred friendships and true love of Iwaz. And misuse of power doesn't work well with balancing finances either. So we need to expect that there is some sort of misuse of power, and we have to be careful not to do that ourselves. What do the runes have to say? Yeah, Taiwaz, the spiritual warrior. Okay, spiritual warrior, becoming humbled. When we realize how much responsibility we have in order to live our best lives, and we realize that we cannot misuse our power, we become humbled. So the thing that we know and we all see coming and we expect is that we need to be humbled and have integrity. That's great. Now, what's to be rejected? What's something we need to release? What's something that isn't working for us that we need to let go of? Yeah, any kind of infertility, any kind of feeling like we're not trusting our intuition, because the Empress requires that we be fertile, that we are able to take a minimal something and turn it into something great. The Empress can birth anything. If you need to go to Hawaii and you have a can of tomato soup and $1.12, she'll figure out how to do it. We cannot start to lose that power. So the thing we need to release is our infertility, our being stuck with thinking we need everything a certain way in order to create, which isn't true. Necessity is the mother of creation. So another feminine card that goes with it is Berkana reversed, because this is what the runes have to say about what should be rejected. What should be rejected is being toxic. Now, Berkana, the letter B, comes from the birch tree. You could actually bend a birch branch to make a bee, okay? And everything that is inside of a birch tree is healing. In fact, that's where the ingredients for aspirin is found. So a birch tree is very healing, but when we become inflexible, we become toxic. We need to release, of course, toxicity inside of our lives and infertility. It's wonderful that both these cards speak to feminine power. Whoops. Feminine power. They both speak to feminine power. And what is to be released is any kind of inhibition of our feminine power. Okay. Now the next is the arising and the surprising, the thing that you didn't see coming. Yeah, we are starting with balancing, make sure we have balanced funds and balanced relationships, that we don't have any misuse of power, and that we are humbled. That's true, that's to be expected. And we have to remember, like we just talked about, remaining fertile so that we can become the Empress. We have to release any infertility or toxic energy. I can't make this up, it's too good. So what's to be expected? This reality can leave us frozen in fear if we're not careful, which is really sad, because the Star card is about being able to think something and make a wish and have it come true, because the woman on the Star card is humbled. She wears humbling clothing. A lot of tarot has her naked because she has nothing to hide. She puts her foot in water in order to dream the really big dreams, and kneels on the ground in order to make it happen. Notice she's pouring water in, she's not taking it out. She's a contributor, she's humbled. She's willing to do the work and dream the dreams, right? So we have to be that, or we become frozen in fear, in self-doubt. To be expected is that with the balancing of funds and the balancing of relationships, and of course, as we talked about, not misusing power and not being infertile or toxic, we have to be careful not to get frozen in fear. Because what I love, it says frozen and the inevitable thaw. Frozen in fear is what's to be expected, but we can await. We can await the inevitable thaw. Frozen in fear, and the rune says awaiting the inevitable thaw. Frozen, waiting a thaw. That is what is arising and surprising. We know some things in our lives are stuck. There's not a lot we can do about it, but we know also that everything's always changing. The love boat, what's the romance? What's the romantic component? Is taking stock, which goes a lot with the Two of Cups in finding financial stability. We take stock of what we have, and we make sure that we are present for Dagaz. Dagaz is about a new day. It's about the Great Awakening. So taking stock of what we have and who we are, and becoming our best selves, making sure that we are present and in the moment, is the best case for our relationships with others. So to summarize, this weekend is about bringing balance and not misusing power, and remembering to be as fertile and as flexible as possible, Berkana, in order to overcome our being frozen in something, being fearful, and knowing that things can and will change, and then finding a new day and a great awakening as we take stock in ourselves. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Thursday. This is Joan Kristen Haugen reporting from Sturgis, South Dakota. If you like this video, feel free to share or comment as you see fit. I always welcome your comments. And see links below if you'd like to order your own copies of Hope's Heart Tarot or Odin's Runes or the companion books of the adventure seekers that go with it. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next Thursday.
She's waiting for love to